Hi, my name's Alan Smith, and in this webcast I'm going to be coding with Chat GPT, and I'm going to create a shooter game in Python in 30 minutes. I'll start out by asking Chat GPT about tips for game development in Python, and it will also provide details about installing the PyGame library. I'll then ask Chat GPT to generate the starter code for a simple shooter game. We can then enhance the game to add more aliens to make the game more challenging. You can see that the graphics aren't too great, so we can also use Chat GPT to be able to generate images for the spaceship and for the aliens. And throughout the webcast, I'll be using a combination of Chat GPT assistance and also some traditional bug fixing and troubleshooting. As for my experience, I've been programming in Python for quite a while, and I've done a bit of game development as a hobby, but I've never really touched the PyGame library. So I'm relying heavily on Chat GPT to provide assistance with this. So hopefully this webcast will give you an insight as to how developers can leverage Chat GPT to learn new frameworks, develop applications, and become more productive. Okay, so let's see if we can start building this game. I'm going to create a new project in Visual Studio. I'm going to select Python application. I'm going to drop it in a folder called C:\game dev. So let's create that. Okay, seems fine. Currently it's set to my YOLO environment, so what I'm going to do is to drop on a new venv, and I'll call it GameEnv. I'll choose Python 3.11, 64-bit, and click Create. So this gives me a clean environment to work with and install any Python packages. So what I'm going to do is to go into GPT and say, give me some tips about, not cantankerous, creating a game in Python, and just see what it comes up with. I've spelt Python wrong, but it will probably understand what I mean. Okay, Python is a great language for game development. That's cool. Choose the idea for the game. I think I'm going to do a simple shooter game. It's saying here, learn how to use PyGame, the most popular library for making games in Python. Okay, so how do I install PyGame? And we can stop responding. We don't really need any more information than that. So let's see how we install PyGame. Okay, we've got Python and pip already installed in that new environment, so that should be fine. Doesn't tell us the version of Python that we need installed, but it's telling us here we just do pip install PyGame in the command prompt. So let's drop back to Visual Studio and try that. So what I'll do is just drop on a new command prompt. And you can see we've got pip installed. If I do pip list, we'll see that we've got a clean environment here. So it was pip install PyGame. Let's spell install right. Yep, and that seems to be successfully installed. So it's saying here, to see if PyGame is working, you can run one of the included examples by doing python-m PyGame example aliens. So let's see if we can copy that text, drop back to the command prompt, and just see what this does. Awesome, we've got music. I didn't last very long. Let's try that again. Again, yeah, didn't last too long. Okay, so that seems like everything is installed. Let's just see if we can get something up and running. So let's tell it that aliens game was cool. Give me some code on my own. So give me some code so I can get started on my own alien shooter game. Graphics don't matter. Boxes. Yeah, here is some code that you can use to get started on your alien shooter game. It will create a window with a black background, a green box that's the player's ship, a red box as an alien. You can use the arrow keys to move the ship and the space bar to shoot bullets. The alien will move randomly and try to avoid the bullets. If you hit the alien, it will disappear. Come on, let's see this code then. Okay, so we're importing PyGame, we're importing random, and then we're calling pygame.init. Okay, So we've got a screen width of 800, screen height of 600, and it's putting in some constants here. We can always modify these if we do want to change things. You know, if it's running too slowly, we can change the alien speed or the number of lives or the bullet speed and so on. So it's creating the screen. We've got the caption. Using the PyGame clock. I've never used PyGame before, but just seeing this code appear also with all of the comments, it's a really nice way to be able to learn about a library that you're unfamiliar with. Okay, so it seems to be defining the ship, it's defining the alien. So these are just going to be basically rectangles that they're creating, appearing at various positions. We're defining the number of lives there. And then we've got the actual game loop. So while running, we're going to be getting these events. You can see we're looking at the key down events, we're looking at the space event. And it's obviously got a collection of bullets, so it's doing bullets.append bullet on that. And then we've got the left and we've got the right. And then some code just to check that we're staying within the bounds of the screen. So it's generating quite a lot of code. Sometimes when it generates a lot of code, it will stop and say that it can't generate anymore. But hopefully it will actually get a completed game out for us that we can start testing with and start modifying. And yeah, it's a bit slow. So I think I'll pause the recording and I'll just speed up the rest of the code generation in the video so you don't have to sit through all of this. Okay, looks like we're done, and it's generated quite a lot of code there. We've got the main game loop, and they seem to be using some kind of a background display so that they're rendering all of this stuff onto a background, and then they're using this PyGame display.flip here just to kind of flip, so we kind of get a smooth animation. Okay, so what I'm going to do is to go way up to the top of here, and I'm just going to copy this big chunk of code. Drop back into Visual Studio. I can close this, and this is the Python application 1. I'll just rename this to, yeah, I should have really named the project. I'll just name that to gptgame.py. So I'll save this and then just paste in this big chunk of code and save it again. And let's just see what this does. Yeah, so what happened there was when I attempted to move, it was complaining that the ship speed was not defined. So I'm just going to do a Control F on this and just see where ship speed is used. And you can see that we've just got those two instances, when I do left and when I do right. So what I've got to do is to just whiz up here to the top where we've got all of these constants. We've got the bullet speed, the alien speed, and the ship speed. I'll set that to 5 just for now. So now we've got that constant in again, and I should be able to just rerun this. So this works fine. I think the ship is moving a bit too slowly. I would like to move a bit faster, so let's just try that again. Ship speed is 10, and just see what this does. Okay, this is a bit better. But I prefer it to be a little bit faster than that. So if I just change that to 15, just see if this feels a bit more playable. This feels better. It doesn't seem to be improving my game too much, but yeah, I can move around and I can shoot. Let's just try that again. Just see if I can get any better this time. Yeah, it seems to be working fine. Maybe we can slow down the aliens a bit. And I don't know how alien speed is used. If it's used for them coming down. So it's... yeah, so it's using it in 2 places for deciding which direction the alien is going to move in. And also the Y speed as it's going to come down the screen. So let's just see if we can change the alien speed to 3 and just see what that does. Okay, seems to be a bit more playable. Now what I'd like, instead of just one alien coming down, it might be nice to have a collection of aliens. So they start spawning and we get more and more aliens appearing as the game progresses. Otherwise it's not going to be too difficult. Also, if the alien lands on the ship, it doesn't blow up. So maybe we can decide to try and fix those issues. So go back to Chat GPT and say, cool, can you make it so there is more than one alien and they come faster as the game progresses. Let's just see what it does with that. So I don't know if it's going to try and print the entire game code again, or if it's just going to show just the changes or modifications. It would be nice to just see the modifications. So here is some code that you can use to modify the game. It will create a list of aliens instead of a single alien, and increase the alien speed by 0.1 every time you score a point. It seems like it's doing file new on this, and it's creating the entire new file. So again, I'll speed up this code generation and just see how it gets on with this. Okay, so it's looked like it's done now. It has kind of created the entire new game again. So what I'm going to do is to just whiz up here, copy this big chunk of code, and then back in Visual Studio, what I'll do is just drop on a new Python file. So add a new item, and this will be, what do I call it? GPT game. I'll call this GPT game 2. And we'll just run that in there. And what I can do is set this as a startup file and just see what this does. Again, yeah, ship speed hasn't been brought across as the actual context. So I'll copy this line of code, ship speed being 15, drop into game 2, up to the constants. And let's drop in the ship speed there. I'll drop the alien speed. What did I have it before? I had it on 3. I'll drop the alien speed back to 3 and see how this works. Yeah, okay, so it's putting more aliens on. However, it seems to be really difficult at the beginning because we only get 3 lives, and if we don't shoot all of the aliens, then it's going to be game over. So this is a bit too challenging. So let's just see if we've got a way of being able to configure the number of aliens. So number of aliens is set to 5. I could ask GPT to modify it so the number of aliens is going to increase progressively as the game runs, but then it might spend another couple of minutes rewriting the entire game. So here we've got number of aliens. This is at the actual constant. So where's it setting the score? So score is 0. We can do aliens is equal to 1. And we're going to start with 1 alien here. So what we can do there is instead of having 5 aliens all of the time, we'll see if there's a way that we can just increment this. And we've got the speed increment. So what we can also do is an aliens increment. And I have no idea what that should be. We'll try it with 0.01. Now what I want to do is to find where it was using this number of aliens here. So if I do a Control F, Control C, Control F, for I in range num aliens. So what I want to do is to have an integer count of the aliens, but have a floating point that progressively increases. So what I need to do there is this is going to be int, and then we're going to drop in, I think aliens was the variable there. For I in range int aliens. Then we're going to create these, and then aliens. This is going to be in the game loop where they're increasing the speed. Yeah, I can do this here. Aliens plus equals alien increment, and just see what that does. Oh yeah, we got aliens here, and I'm defining another aliens here, so this will be alien count. And yeah, I'd overloaded that variable name there. So let's just take alien count here. And I'm going to need to change this where we were incrementing it. Alien count plus equals alien increment. So let's see if that works. Alien count is not defined. Okay, so let's just drop those up there. I should have caught that one. So starting off with just 1 alien coming down the screen. I don't know if this 0.01 was correct. Hopefully there should be another alien appearing. We should be seeing 2 aliens appearing at once, and it should keep on incrementing. I don't think I'm going to last that long. Oh yeah, so this is kind of initializing the alien count at the beginning. So even though we're incrementing alien count, we're not going to add any more of those on. Okay, so we need to do this slightly differently. What I'm going to have to do is when the alien count reaches a certain value, we need to add another alien here. So it's going to be aliens append, alien colors append. So let's just see how we can do this. Yeah, if I go down here and we've got the alien count plus equals alien increment. So if int alien count is greater than len aliens. So this will happen if the count reaches another number and we need to add another alien. Then what I'm going to do is to drop on another alien. So we create this and just see what this does here. Okay, let's see what this does. Okay, so we've got 2 aliens appearing on this, and eventually it should get faster. We've got 3 aliens appearing there. I kind of think the alien speed is a bit too high with these multiple aliens appearing, so let's just drop that down to 1 and see what this does. So yeah, it's starting off really slow. But we should get to the point. Oh yeah, I forgot the speed was increasing actually with a delta. So maybe we can change that. But this does seem a bit more playable. The thing I don't like is the aliens aren't really moving. I mean, they're randomly moving left and right, but they're not kind of choosing a direction to move in and moving in that particular direction. We can maybe go in and fix that a bit later on. Okay, so this kind of works. What would be nice to do is to have some actual graphics and have these being like image files rather than just boxes. So let's see if GPT can help us with that. Now what I want to do is I don't want it to create an entire new game every time I ask it to change the graphics and so on. So if what I want to do is to kind of drop into Visual Studio and kind of find the code where it's rendering these aliens and rendering the ship, and see if we can actually change this, because so this is the actual ship where the ship is. So we've got the screen and we've got the ship. Let's see what ship is. So that's basically a PyGame rect. So what I'm going to do is just copy this chunk of code, drop that in there, and then back to Studio. I'm going to do the actual code that's drawing it. So we need to find ship, or ship colors, probably easier. Yeah. So I can drop that in. I would like to use an image for the ship, not a green box. Please show the code to. So hopefully it's not going to do file new and just create the entire game. Hopefully it's just going to tell me what I need to do to modify this. And what I can do is see if I can paste in that code. So it's saying how searching for how to use an image for the ship in PyGame. So I need to follow these steps. Okay, we need to find an image file that we need to use, a JPEG or a PNG file. Save the image file in a folder in the game. So we're going to need an images folder there. Yeah, it's telling us to load the image into a surface object here. PyGame image load in your ship class. I haven't got a ship class, I don't think. And then we need to get the rectangle of the ship to find out how big it is. And then we're using self.screen.blit with the image and with the rectangle. Oh, cool. Giving us the code. So it's not doing the entire game here. It's just got a class for the ship. So we'll see if we can use that because I don't think we'd defined any classes in the game previously. So we've got this, and then we've got this blit where it's just going to blit the actual image. Now, yeah, let's actually see if I can drop in this class for the ship. So I'm going to need to copy this. I'll drop back to the actual game itself. Yeah, we don't have any classes presently in the game. So what I'm going to do is just to define that class, so I'll drop it after these items here. Whack that in. We don't need import PyGame a second time. We've already done that higher up. And then we've got images ship.ping. So I'm going to need an image for that. I'm going to create a new folder. Add a new folder. Images. So let's see if we can create some graphics here and ask Bing to do that. Can you create a, what should we do, 64 by 64 pixel image that I can use for the ship in the game? It should have a black background. Okay. Now the big chatter, it can also call out to Dall-E and create images. It may take a little while to do this, but let's just see what it's going to do for us. Okay, it has created some images. They don't look really usable for a game. Cool, but I would like it in the of an 80s. I really want it in the style of an 80s shooter game. I mean, these ships, I suppose that one's cool if you flipped it, but I really want them pointing up as well. Maybe that one would be cool if you could flip it, but it's a bit bigger. And it's got all of this background on that may need cleaning up. I'm just going to save this actually. So let's just drop this one as, it's a JTIFF. I want it to be a JPEG or a ping. So I'll just drop that down as ship for now. Okay, it needs to point up. I didn't specify that we needed it to point up. However, this one, I could actually rotate this image. So let's just see if I can save image as ship 2. And we can see if it comes out with any other images there. Actually, that one does look quite cool. So what I should be able to do is to, let's just see. It will generate some more. So what I'm going to do is to just drop these two guys into the project, including project, and then if I open this in File Explorer, let's try with this one. So what I'm going to do first is click on Edit. We've got the image in Paint, so we need to rotate it first. So let's rotate it 90 degrees. That's pointing up. It's got all of these extra blocks on there, so I'm just going to see if I can get rid of these blocks. So, because they would look nice if they were animated, but not too great there for that one there. And also the image is quite a bit bigger than the ship. It's 270 by 270 pixels. So firstly, I'm going to see if I can crop this image. So let's just take that bit there and do a crop. And then I can do another crop from the bottom right corner. And now it's 147 by 206. That's way too big. So let's just resize it and make it 64 by 89. Okay, that. So that seems a nicer size. So let's save this file down. And then hopefully I can get to work on modifying my code. So I've got my class ship and it was the images. Oh yeah, it needed to be a ping or a JPEG. So let's just change that in Paint if I can. So yeah, let's do edit again. Let's do a file save as. And I'm going to change the file shape. Oh, it wasn't actually JPEG. Yeah, it just had this JFIF on it. I'll just drop it in as a ping file and save it down there. So this is actually going to be ship2.ping. I'll include that in the project. Okay, so that's images ship2.ping. Now what we're doing is we need to create the ship, and then we need to draw the ship. So currently the ship is a PyGame rect. So let's just have it as a new ship. So new ship is going to be equal to ship. Do we need anything in the constructor? Let's just see what that does. I'm going to stick a breakpoint on there and just run this. Requires the positional argument AI game. Okay. So let's just drop back to chat and yeah. Did it tell us how to create it? yeah, so we create the class. It doesn't tell us how to use that particular class. It tells us how to do the blit, but I don't think they're telling us how to actually call that. So let's just scroll down and see what it's saying. Yeah, so we're just passing in an instance of game. I'm not sure where that instance of game is going to come from. Okay, I think, okay, so this class here, I'm just going to move this down a bit. If I drop it out of here and drop it in here. And what they're doing is they're using the AI game.screen. Now in here, we're actually defining the screen. So I should be able to say self.screen is equal to screen. Yeah, screen.getRect. And then AI game isn't then being used. So we don't need to pass in the game object, I don't think. So that's a constructor. And that's going to load the image, set the rectangle. Then we've got this blit method here on the ship, which is going to basically display this on the screen. So what I need to do is to change the drawing code. So we're actually going to be displaying this ship on the screen. So let's scroll down to the render code and see where we draw the ship. Okay, so we're no longer going to do this. We're going to do new ship, blit me. We don't need to pass any characters in there. Let's just see if this is going to work. Awesome. This looks fine. However, the ship isn't moving when the bullets move. So let's just close this. And what I'll need to do is to modify the position of the new ship. So let's stick a breakpoint on there and see what we've got to work with. Immediate window. Let's just drop in new ship. I can pin that guy and see what it is. So we've got various things in here. We've got the image, we've got the rect, and we've got the actual screen. So I'm guessing it's going to be the rect that we modify. So what I'm going to do is to go into the code where we're actually moving the ship. So instead of moving the ship X, new ship.rect is, and then dot. Oh, so here we've got the X and Y positions, so I can set the new ship.rect.x, and that's going to be minus equals the ship speed. So I'm assuming we can do the same thing with adding ship speed on there. So let's see what that gives us. Yeah, that's fine. However, the bullets are coming from the ship position, not the new ship position. Okay, so this is the code when we press the space button. So here it needs to be new ship X and new ship Y, maybe a bit out because the ship width may be different from the old ship. I could fix that later on, but let's just see what this does. Now it's not going to be new ship.x, it's going to be new ship.rect.x. So let's just change those two there and see what this does. Excellent. We got the shooter working now. So last thing to do, we need some cool aliens. So what I'm going to do is to just exit from here. Very cool. Please create an alien image in the same style. I don't know if this very cool and the exclamation mark helps with the prompts, but why not? This is going to be quite slow to create, so I'll speed up the video as it's generating the image. Okay, it's generated some aliens. It's also put the kind of score on the aliens. We don't need that. However, I should just be able to save image as. We'll do it as alien. Save that. Then I need to modify it. And it's this guy here. So let's go in and do edit. And again, what I'm going to do is just to do a crop on this. So I'm going to select, and I don't want that score bit in. I kind of want just this bit here. And let's do a crop on that, and let's just look at the size on this. So it's 249. Let's make it 128 by 80, and then do a save. And I think it is actually going to be a JPEG file. Okay, so what I'm going to need to do is to have a class for the alien. So we can just modify the ship class and drop this in as alien. And what we're going to be loading here is the... I'll actually rename that to JPEG. See if this works. And then just see if we can load that file there. I can include this guy in the project as well, include in project. So, okay. So we need to create these aliens from that class here. So we go through and we're creating the alien and adding it on here to the actual aliens collection. So what I need to do here is I can comment out these 2 lines of code here. And we don't need to worry about the alien colors, but we're going to say alien is equal to alien. And that's going to create a new instance of that class and drop it onto the collection. What I also need to do is to change the rendering code, because I guess this is going to break because the alien doesn't have an X position. So it's going to be this alien, and I think it's going to be .rect.x and .rect.y. So let's just see if that's going to work. Yeah, so there's going to be quite a lot of these that I will need to fix. So if I just do a Control F on that, I can just search for .x and see if there's anything else. Yeah, there's another one there. So let's drop on those rects there and just see if that works. Oh yeah, the alien colors. Yeah, this is when it's actually drawing the rectangles. So when we're rendering the aliens, we're not going to do that anymore. We're going to do what we did with the ship. So I guess it will be aliens, and then we're going to call blip me, which is hopefully going to display that image of the alien. Awesome. Background isn't that great, but yeah. We got a shooter game, and I'd say, okay. Yeah, so this code here, when I was generating new alien, when we created the new ones, I was using the old code. So that was creating an old alien and dropping it in the collections of the new aliens. So here, what I just need to do is to generate a new alien here. So alien is equal to alien, and then drop that onto the collection. And let's just see if this is going to work now. Yeah, seems to be doing fine. And I really need to fix it. The first alien came on near the bottom of the screen, so I lost a life. Yeah, I ran out of lives there. Yeah, just for fun, I'm just going to pump this up, and we'll say that the number of lives is going to be 99. And that's going to give, even if I'm bad at playing the game, it's going to give a chance for lots of aliens to come on the screen, and we can see kind of how many aliens it's going to handle. If I keep shooting, we should be able to destroy them. So this is going to get faster in terms of the alien speed, but also in terms of the number of aliens. The challenge is the aliens are appearing at the bottom of the screen. Let me fix that, because that's not fun. So in the alien constructor, yeah, this is screenrec.midBottom. So it's setting so we probably want to do .midTop. That's going to be better, hopefully. Yeah, so now the aliens are coming on at the top of the screen, and that's cool. So what we've seen from this is that Bing Chat is pretty good at being able to kind of talk us through the process of being able to create this game, create a starting sample for us to work with, and then be able to kind of make improvements to the game, and also be able to generate the graphics for the game, so that we can, enhance it using our graphics. It's starting to get a bit crazy now. I'll give up on that. I'm going to run out of lives fairly quickly here. But for somebody who's approaching a new framework, this is really, really cool. I mean, I've not really used PyGame before. I've done a bit of game development, but now I've got something that I can play with, and I can, make modifications for that. You do need some coding skills, so you do need to understand a bit about Python, but once you've got this far using a GPT, it's going to be a much faster process to be able to develop applications. I also like that we've got all of the commenting code in here. I don't normally comment code like this, but it's really nice to have all of the explanations, especially when we're learning new technologies and new libraries. It's telling us exactly what each line of code does.